Let's start with the Jets, though. Still have two big RFAs waiting on Laine and Kyle Connor. According to our Sean Reynolds, there are at least 3 teams considering an offer sheet still for Connor. Let's think about that for a second. The Jets did make a move today. Josh Morrissey is signed for the max years. 8 years, $50 million contract extension. Here's GM Kevin Cheveldayoff talking about the Morrissey deal.
This really goes back to, this time last year. We had at that point in time really expressed our desire to want to do a long-term deal with Josh at that point in time. But given our cap situation, he was able to see that at that point we could only do a bridge to try to keep the group together and try to take a kick at the at the can there last year with what we had. And at that time we told him, we said, it is our firm belief that we'd like to make you a long-term Jet. And when we get that opportunity, we're going to work hard at doing it. Again, we wouldn't have made it if we didn't feel comfortable. And as far as again impacting anything else, this deal was done with the cap in mind. And again, I talked about the uncertainties of the future cap, and at some point in time, you have to make some decisions and go with it.
Toronto and Vancouver, along with Montreal in 2 different languages, often scream the loudest. But this is the most interesting camp, isn't it?
To me, it is.
Like, I know it's probably the smallest fan base, them and Ottawa. This is the most interesting camp. You've got the Kyle Connor rumors. You've got that Morrissey deal. And I know that folks in Winnipeg like it because they like the fact that someone wants to stay in Winnipeg, likes the team, likes the city, wants to stay. That feels good for a franchise. You throw in the interview that Blake Wheeler did where his leadership was questioned and whether or not he and Mark Scheifele were too hard on the younger guys, and man, do you have yourself a juicy camp.
You're right. 8 years for Josh Morrissey. Check. People in Winnipeg love that. And by the way, $6.25 a year for Morrissey, $8 million for Trueba. Which deal would you rather have? I like me some Josh Morrissey.
He's good.
Trueba is above average defenseman. $8 million?
Winnipeg wants both.
They want both.
They didn't want to lose everybody.
But the first thing that popped into my head today when the Morrissey signing was announced, Tim, are you losing Connor or are you losing Laine? Because the feeling I got initially, I was stunned to see it. I was happy for Morrissey and Kevin because it's a perfect fit. But not everyone's staying now. We've already seen it with Trueba. This has been a juggling act that Kevin Cheveldayoff has done a pretty good job of for the last several years.
Now, to be fair, the contract
doesn't start till next year.
Right.
However, you have a lot of other guys already signed long-term, Tim. I mean, Mark Scheifele, that looks like the best contract in hockey. He's making less than Josh Morrissey starting next season.
Right.
So you have a lot of money locked up in defensemen, your goalie, and 4 forwards. There's not the room. They still got about $15 million left this season, Tim. I don't see the room, though, for both Laine and Kyle Connor. And based on what Sean Reynolds is reporting, considering Connor's not going to break the bank for a team, you're going to have to pay for him a little bit. But he's not like an $8-9 million player. At least I don't think so. Maybe he does. I don't see how this works out for Kevin Cheveldayoff. I don't see how the numbers work out. Now, if Patrick Laine is as kind of flippant to staying in Winnipeg as we've felt he was, I'm sure he likes the city. I mean, does anyone want to take bets on which one of the two is probably the one who's going to go?
The other thing
I'm leaning Laine in this.
The other thing about the offer sheeting that could go on here is you can just work out a deal, right? Like if you're interested in the player and perhaps the picks aren't as enticing to give away, you can just work out a sign and a trade.
Yeah, you could do that.
Right?
You could definitely do that.
You are going to walk down the road, you call Kevin Cheveldayoff and say, do you really want the first-round picks? Or would you like someone off of our team? Or can you afford that someone off of our team? I think there's a lot of different ways that Kevin Cheveldayoff can go with this. But you're right. Despite the options, it seems like where there's smoke, there's fire, and the smoke is all around Patrick Laine.